Welcome back to ADCGH Spoilers channel. Today, we bring you a thrilling breakdown of all the shocking developments, heated confrontations, and unexpected alliances unfolding this week in Port Charles. The town is on edge as secrets unravel, tensions flare, and personal vendettas threaten to turn into all-out wars. With high-stakes power plays, emotional reckonings, and dangerous confrontations ahead, you won't want to miss a second of the action. Jack Brennan returns and Carly Spencer's surprising discovery. The Quartermain estate is about to become the epicenter of a deeply personal and emotionally charged encounter. After weeks of uncertainty, Drew Quartermain makes a long-overdue visit to Willow Corinthos, reaffirming his loyalty and his determination to be there for her no matter what obstacles stand in their way. The reunion is bittersweet, filled with unspoken emotions and the lingering weight of past struggles. Just as the two share a moment of intimate understanding, an unexpected visitor changes the mood entirely. In typical Carly fashion, she arrives unannounced and drops a bombshell, bringing urgent news straight from Michael Corinthos, who has finally emerged from his coma. The information she carries is critical and has the potential to shift the dynamic between Willow and Drew entirely. But before they can fully process Michael's message, another major twist sends shockwaves through Port Charles: Jack Brennan's recasting. With Chris McKenna officially stepping into the role, Brennan's presence is set to cause even more drama, particularly as his romance with Carly takes center stage. What surprises does Brennan have in store for Carly, and will his return spell trouble for those standing in his way? Jocelyn Jax defies authority, taking justice into her own hands. Elsewhere, Jocelyn Jax is gearing up for battle, and this time, she isn't letting anyone stand in her way. Anna Devane, a seasoned professional in the world of law enforcement, tries to intervene before Jocelyn makes a critical mistake. She warns Jocelyn not to get involved in an ongoing investigation, emphasizing the grave dangers that come with crossing the wrong people. But if Anna thought a warning would be enough to dissuade Jocelyn, she clearly underestimated just how determined she is. The truth is, Jocelyn doesn't trust the authorities to bring Cyrus Renault to justice. Dex Heller and Sam McCall are still suffering because of Renault's manipulations, and Jocelyn refuses to sit back while the man responsible for so much pain walks free. If law enforcement won't act, she will. However, Jocelyn's impulsive nature could prove to be her biggest weakness. Renault is dangerous, calculating, and always a step ahead. If Jocelyn makes the wrong move, she could be putting herself and those she cares about directly in the line of fire. Sasha Gilmore's emotional breakdown and Cody Bell's role in the chaos. As if the drama in Port Charles wasn't already overwhelming, Sasha Gilmore Corbin is teetering on the edge of a full-scale meltdown. She's been through more than anyone should have to endure, and yet, people still won't stop meddling in her personal life. This time, it's Felicia Scorpio who decides to get involved, pressing Sasha about her baby's father and stirring up more unwanted speculation. But Sasha is done playing nice. She makes it clear that she doesn't need anyone interfering in her affairs, but the constant pressure is starting to wear her down. By midweek, all of that pent-up frustration boils over in a dramatic confrontation. Unfortunately for Cody Bell, he ends up as the main target of her wrath. Misinformation is spreading like wildfire, and Sasha blames Cody for fueling the rumors that are making her life even more difficult. Though Cody likely meant no harm, the damage is done, and Sasha isn't in a forgiving mood. Could this be the breaking point that sends Sasha spiraling into an even darker place? Or will she find the strength to take back control of her own story? Jordan Ashford's mission and Lucky Spencer's inner conflict. Meanwhile, another power struggle is unfolding behind the scenes. Jordan Ashford is on a mission, and nothing will stand in her way, not even the serious risks involved. She's set her sights on Jen Sidwell, and she's determined to eliminate him before he becomes an even bigger problem. But not everyone believes this is the right course of action. Isaiah Gannon questions Jordan's tactics, wondering if she truly understands the kind of enemy she's making. Sidwell is more dangerous than he appears, and if she underestimates him, she could pay the price. At the same time, Elizabeth Baldwin is confronting Lucky Spencer with some tough questions of her own. If Lucky had allowed Jason Morgan to take Sidwell out when he had the chance, would they even be in this mess? Now, Sidwell's presence in Port Charles is becoming a greater threat by the day, and Lucky has to face the possibility that his past choices are now coming back to haunt him. Will Lucky be forced to take drastic action to correct his mistake? Or will Jordan's plan to remove Sidwell work before it's too late? Selena Wu's tempting proposition for Cody Bell and Deception's business drama. While dangerous plots unfold behind closed doors, Lucy Coe is preparing for a major business meeting at Deception. At first glance, it seems like an ordinary corporate gathering, but things take an unexpected turn when Jens Sidwell enters the picture. His presence as an investor could bring a financial boost, but at what cost? Sidwell has a reputation for stirring up trouble, and his involvement with Deception is already making some people deeply uneasy. Could this be the beginning of a corporate battle that threatens to tear the company apart? Meanwhile, in a completely different part of town, Cody Bell finds himself in a precarious situation. Selena Wu, a master strategist and power player, approaches him with a proposition that seems too good to refuse. Cody knows better than to trust Selena, but at the same time, the offer is incredibly tempting. Accepting Selena's deal could mean unimaginable rewards, but it also comes with serious consequences. Is Cody about to make the biggest mistake of his life by getting even further entangled in Selena Wu's web of influence? Final thoughts: the battle lines are drawn. As Port Charles plunges deeper into turmoil, the lines between friend and foe are becoming increasingly blurred. Dangerous power plays, personal betrayals, and life-altering decisions are pushing some characters to their breaking points. From Jack Brennan's return to Jocelyn's rebellion, Sasha's breakdown, and Jordan's high-stakes mission, this week's General Hospital episodes are set to deliver non-stop drama, explosive confrontations, and shocking twists. Next, we're diving into one of the most controversial shakeups in General Hospital history, one that has left fans stunned, disappointed, and eager for answers. As the show moves forward with new twists and turns, viewers are left wondering about the fate of Brennan, a character that was quickly becoming a fan favorite. But it's not just the storyline that has people talking, it's the abrupt departure of actor Charles Measure and the decision to replace him with Chris McKenna. For years, General Hospital has been known for its ability to captivate audiences with unexpected developments, but the latest casting change has sparked more debate than excitement. As longtime fans process this news, one thing is clear: the transition from Measure to McKenna has not been a smooth one. But why has this decision caused such an uproar? Is it simply about the casting itself, or does it go deeper than that? Let's break it all down. Fans are not holding back their reactions. It didn't take long for social media to explode with passionate responses from General Hospital viewers. Fans quickly voiced their disappointment, frustration, and even outright disbelief regarding Measure's exit. Many had grown attached to his portrayal of Brennan, a character whose presence on the show had been growing more significant with each passing episode. One of the biggest concerns revolves around the chemistry that Charles Measure brought to the screen, particularly in his interactions with Laura Wright's character. Many believe that their dynamic was an essential element in making Brennan a compelling figure within the show's universe. What? Charles Measure was absolute perfection as Brennan. His chemistry with Laura Wright was electric, one fan posted online. I hope this is just temporary, or that McKenna can bring the same magic to the role. But chemistry isn't the only issue at play. Some fans are also questioning whether McKenna is the right fit for the character. While McKenna has experience in the soap opera world, many believe he may be too young to portray Brennan in a way that remains believable and consistent with past storylines. The fear is that such a drastic casting change could disrupt the momentum the character had been building, forcing the writers to alter their plans significantly. And then there's the uncertainty about Measure's departure itself. Was this a creative decision, a contractual issue, or something more behind the scenes? Some viewers believe there may be more to the story, and they are demanding answers. Was this an inevitable change or a misstep? With so much controversy surrounding this casting change, it's worth considering whether this was an inevitable shift or an unnecessary mistake. Recasting is nothing new in the world of daytime television, but certain changes strike a deeper chord with audiences, especially when a character was just beginning to find their stride. Charles Measure brought a distinctive edge to Brennan, elevating him from a secondary character to someone with real potential for long-term development. His smirks, sharp dialogue, and intense yet charming presence made him an intriguing figure, and fans were eager to see where his story would lead. His interactions with Laura Wright's Carly were filled with tension, humor, and flirtation, creating a unique dynamic that many were excited to watch unfold. By contrast, Chris McKenna is stepping into a role that comes with heavy expectations. While McKenna is a capable actor, he now faces the challenge of winning over a skeptical audience. Can he replicate the charisma that Measure brought to Brennan? Will he be able to maintain the same chemistry with Laura Wright, or will the change be too jarring for longtime viewers? General Hospital has seen many successful recasts in the past, but there have also been instances where a new actor simply couldn't capture the magic of the original. Fans are already wary that this could be one of those cases, and if McKenna doesn't resonate with audiences quickly, the backlash could intensify. What happens to Brennan's storyline now? Beyond the casting change itself, fans are also concerned about what this means for Brennan's character. When Charles Measure was in the role, Brennan seemed to be on the verge of major storylines, ones that could have solidified his place as a key player in the General Hospital universe. Would he become a long-term love interest for Carly? Could he be tied to an even bigger storyline involving Anna, Valentine, or even Jocelyn? His interactions with various characters suggested that he was being positioned for something more significant, but now, everything feels uncertain. If the transition isn't handled properly, Brennan's character could lose momentum entirely. Worse, he could be written out altogether if the backlash is too strong. That's why this recasting decision is such a crucial one. Not just for the actor taking on the role, but for the future of the show itself. There's also a lingering question of whether Charles Measure might return. If his departure wasn't a permanent decision, could there be room for a surprise comeback? Some fans are holding on to that hope, believing that if McKenna doesn't work out, the show might consider bringing Measure back. While that scenario remains purely speculative, it wouldn't be the first time a soap opera reversed a recast due to fan reactions. Is there any hope for a smooth transition? Recasting a beloved character is never easy, but General Hospital has managed to do it successfully in the past. The key to making it work lies in how well the writers, directors, and actors handle the transition. One possible approach is to lean into the change rather than trying to pretend nothing has happened. If McKenna is going to make Brennan his own, the writers need to give him the material to do so. That means ensuring his version of Brennan has a clear direction, strong dialogue, and interactions that make sense within the established story. Additionally, McKenna will need time to win over the audience. Rather than expecting immediate acceptance, the show should focus on gradually developing his character, allowing fans to adjust to the new portrayal naturally. If handled with care, there's a chance that McKenna could prove his doubters wrong and bring something fresh to the role. Of course, there's also the possibility that viewers will never fully embrace the change. If that happens, the showrunners may find themselves in a difficult position, deciding whether to stick with McKenna or make yet another change. Final thoughts: will fans accept this change? At the end of the day, General Hospital is a show that thrives on drama, both on-screen and off. The backlash to this casting change is intense, but it also speaks to the passion that fans have for the show and its characters. Whether Chris McKenna ultimately wins over the audience remains to be seen. If he can bring his own unique energy to Brennan while respecting what Charles Measure established, there's a chance this transition could work. But if the chemistry feels off, if the writing doesn't support the change, or if fans simply refuse to accept it, this could become one of the show's more controversial missteps. The only way to know for sure is to keep watching. General Hospital fans will have to tune in to see if this gamble pays off or if it ends up being a decision the showrunners regret. What do you think? Can Chris McKenna succeed in this role, or do you hope Charles Measure makes a dramatic return? Next, we take a deep dive into the latest developments rocking Port Charles, where relationships are being tested, secrets are being whispered, and life-changing decisions are being made. From hospital corridors to cozy cafe conversations, emotions are running high, and the drama is more intense than ever. Whether it's a heart-wrenching moment between a struggling athlete and a mentor who understands his pain or shocking rumors that could upend friendships, today's update has everything you need to know. A life-changing crossroads, Kai faces a future without football. The hospital room is filled with a heavy silence as Kai processes the truth he has been trying to avoid: his football career is over. When his teammate Quinn walks in, there's an unspoken tension, a moment of acknowledgement between two young men whose dreams once intertwined. But Kai doesn't sugarcoat the news. With an air of finality, he tells Quinn that it's over for him, he will never step onto the field again, and now Quinn has to step up and lead the team in his absence. The words feel foreign leaving his lips, as if saying them makes the reality all the more crushing. Just as Quinn leaves, Curtis arrives. Though Kai barely glances up, he already knows what's coming. Another attempt to lift his spirits, another well-meaning speech about perseverance. He cuts Curtis off before he even gets the chance. "I'm not up for a pep talk," he mutters, expecting the usual cliches. But Curtis surprises him. He's not here to offer a rehearsed speech about hope, he's here to share something real. Curtis opens up about his own accident and the brutal road to recovery. He doesn't pretend to have all the answers, but he does know one thing: Kai will never know what's possible if he doesn't try. He understands the grief, the anger, the frustration. He knows how suffocating it feels when people tell you how you should feel. But at the end of the day, no one can walk this path for Kai. The choice to fight or to surrender rests with him. Kai, however, is not ready to hear it. He isn't just mourning a career, he's mourning a life he thought was certain. The risk of pushing forward is terrifying. What if he tries, only to fail? What if the best parts of his life have already slipped away? He voices his deepest fear: if I push too hard, I could risk full paralysis. He stares at Curtis, waiting for an easy answer, some reassurance that everything will be fine. But there is no simple answer. Trina's plea: can Curtis help someone lost in darkness? Outside Kai's room, Trina paces nervously. She had come to Curtis for help, hoping that he might be able to reach Kai in a way that others couldn't. She sees her friend slipping into darkness, withdrawing further with each passing day, and she's desperate to pull him back before it's too late. She knows firsthand how overwhelming life's challenges can be. Her father had once walked a similar road, and she believes his experience could make a difference. "If my dad could talk to Kai," she pleads, "maybe he'd see that he's not alone." Curtis, though, is careful with his response. He doesn't want to give her false hope. He knows that no amount of advice, no carefully chosen words, can magically erase what Kai is feeling. Grief is personal. Recovery takes time. And sometimes, no matter how much support surrounds a person, they have to find their own way through the storm. But still, Trina isn't ready to give up. She has seen people rise from despair before, and she refuses to believe that Kai's story is already over. A shocking rumor shakes Port Charles. While life-altering conversations are taking place at the hospital, another storm is brewing elsewhere in Port Charles, one that could change relationships forever. At the Surf Lodge Cafe, Emma and Gio sit together, but Emma is only half listening. Her mind is racing, pieces of a shocking conversation swirling in her thoughts. Maxie and Sasha's hushed voices had caught her attention moments earlier, and what she overheard left her stunned. Jason is the father of Sasha's baby. Gio sees the shift in her demeanor. "Emma, what's wrong?" he asks, watching as she stares blankly at her untouched drink. She finally speaks, but her voice is laced with uncertainty. I think Jason is having a baby with my half-sister. The words feel surreal even as she says them. She knows Jason well, he's one of her mother's best friends, but this? This is something she never saw coming. Gio, ever the rational one, isn't convinced. He reminds Emma that he was there when Sasha first made the announcement, and Jason hadn't reacted in any way that suggested he was the father. But Emma remains skeptical. That's just how Jason is, she argues. He wouldn't react. He'd just keep it to himself. Now, she faces a dilemma. Should she tell her mother? Should her grandfather know? This revelation could cause serious complications, and she has a bad feeling about where this is headed. Maxie's advice: living with Anna comes with rules. Earlier that day, before the rumors started spreading, Emma had been at the same cafe, but under much different circumstances. She had been deep in conversation with Maxie, who had some wisdom to share about the challenges of living with Anna. Emma had initially been suspicious. Had her mother or grandmother sent Maxie to check up on her? But Maxie quickly dispelled her worries. She wasn't here to spy, she was here to offer some much-needed advice.